people don't really know that you started off as a b-boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, could you just tell us that when you were growing up in Seattle, what drew you to that particular street dance?
Well, I think ever since I was younger, I would always kind of like see stuff on TV. Like I would see Michael Jackson dance, or I would see Usher or Genuine or someone like that, and I would try to mimic the dances. And then as I got older, I saw a group of breakdancers at my school, and at first, I didn't really do it full on. I kind of just did it secretively in my home, and then once I got into it, I got really, really into it, and then I started going to practice spots. I started, entering battles. I joined a crew. It's called the Art of Movement, AOM, and yeah, ever since then, I haven't been able to kind of like get out of that phase. I'm just even now, I don't have time to b-boy all the time, but I always watch footage or I find time to practice or yeah.
That's dope. I mean, you mentioned AOM just now. You joined them in 2003, and I think you are still red tie with the boys, right?
Of course.
How do you guys keep that bond going, man? I mean, you are like based in Seoul most of the time, man. Yeah, in Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, since it's a real friendship, it's a real brotherhood. It's really like family. So, you know how if you're like family, it's like it doesn't matter if you don't see each other for 2 years. Once you see each other, it's like you never left. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, we have like chat rooms and stuff like that, and I visit back every once in a while, and also a couple of my homies from the crew. Cha Cha Malone is working on music with me. Hep was living in Korea for about 2 years. So of course we keep in touch, but it's like a real brotherhood. So we just always just tight like that. Yeah.
Were you actually in Singapore as a b-boy before?
Yeah. So back in like I think 2010, I brought the AOM boys with me on a little like fan meet tour, and then we battled the Singapore crew, Radical Force.
Yeah, Radical Force.
So that was a real dope experience. And then also they had R16 Singapore one time,
that's right.
and then my homie Junior, he entered the one-on-one here. So
I heard about it. So Radical Force actually and recognized it. Have you met Felix before? Felix Wang from Radical
yes,
Force?
I think I have. I haven't seen them in a long time, so I don't remember their names, but I definitely remember their faces for sure.
Yeah. So Felix and Radical Force and the Recognized Studio Boys are helping us out on the Dance Vertical of Shine Festival as well. Yeah. So just also to just keep on going a bit about the b-boys things for a while first. So like Korean b-boys are just really killing it around the world, man. Like,
Definitely.
There are like a lot of good b-boys and all that. I mean, what is in the secret sauce, man? Like why?
I think it's definitely just their training method. They train every day. It's almost like they do it for fun, but they also do it as almost like a job. Like they make sure to train every day to take care of their bodies. Like I know Jinjo crew, like they all run together like 9 miles or something like that, like every day or something like that, just something crazy. So their training regimen is just, I think it's different from everyone else's, and that's what kind of sets them apart. Yeah.
So it's almost like military-like, do you think?
Almost, but not as serious, of course. But I think they definitely run drills and like definitely have a very, very strict regimen, diet, and all that. Yeah.
Cool. I mean, let's just maybe just have a slight throwback of like in 2004, and why do you drop everything back in Seattle? And we were 17 back then, just to move to Korea to try out.
So the funny thing is that ever since I was in high school, I guess, or in middle school, I would just rap for fun. I would rap for fun. I would just dance for fun. I would have never thought of becoming a singer or a rapper or doing it professionally. It was all just for fun. My dream was never to become like a singer or like a rapper or whatever. But I didn't really study in school. My mom, of course, wanted me to go to college, go to university, become a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, and that was not going to happen. So there was an opportunity to audition in Seattle. Actually, JIP was holding auditions in Seattle,
right.
And then my mom was like, "Yo, go audition for this thing," and I didn't really know what it was. I thought it was like a contest where like if you win first place, you get some type of money or something like that. So I just kind of went not knowing what it was, and then I just did a little rap that I wrote and I freestyle danced. and then I dipped, I bounced, and then my mom stayed till the end, and then they called my name, so my mom called me back, and that's how the whole thing. They're like, yo, like we're making a boy band, like we need you to come to Korea, and then I thought about it for like 3-4 months, like, oh man, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna? Because I would have I never thought about becoming a singer, but especially in Korea, because I didn't really know anything about the Korean industry or just how things were over there. Because I'd only visited Korea like twice when I was young for 2 weeks at a time, and so that just kind of all happened because of my mom, I guess. Yeah.
So I mean, like you mentioned that the mom encouraged you a lot on this journey as well. I mean, you went there really young, and when you were on your own, were you like, nervous or like?
I mean, at first she wasn't encouraging. Okay, at first she did, yeah. Of course, she wanted me to study instead of dancing. But then once I got casted and once I started doing, then she became very, enthusiastic and started encouraging me. But what was the question again? My bad.
It's like, were you like really nervous?
Of course, of course. Just going to. It was my first time being apart from my family, of course, and then of course I had to drop. I basically had to sacrifice my life in Seattle and come to a spot where I didn't know anything about. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't even know what a trainee was at that time, or I didn't even know what a boy band was at that time either. I didn't know what an idol group was. So I just came like really not knowing what I was getting into. Just kind of thinking of my family, like yo, like I need to like support, like be successful and support my family and stuff like that. And then I remember I like cried like every day. Like I don't cry anymore, but I cried like every day, like for like 2 weeks. Yeah. But it was a long time ago. But yeah, I cried like every day for like 2 weeks. Like, oh man,
it's cool to like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I mean, and of course you parted way with JYP, man. I think that was a big turning point in your career.
Yeah.
Most people have probably given up after that. But what gave you the fortitude to actually carry on and push through, man?
Yeah, I mean, it was like a blessing in disguise. I think everyone makes mistakes. Everyone kind of goes through their ups and downs, and then it's kind of the next step. I feel what you take from that is what's the most important, and for me it's just like it's as long as you're like I said this in the press conference the other day. They're like, "What's your motto?" I was like, "Oh, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger," right? So that's kind of how I feel. As long as I'm breathing, as long as I can have life in my body, there's no reason for me to give up, because there's always new opportunities. You never know what's gonna happen in life. You don't know what the future is not certain. It's like you don't know what God has planned for you, or what the future has planned for you, or what your destiny is. It's like anything can happen. So that's kind of what I believe in, and that's kind of why I just kept on pushing on.
Cool. I mean, this is slightly a bit of a music geeky kind of question. I mean, Cha does produce a lot for you. Could you just share with the audience, like there are some music producers, I found out there's like some singers and rappers as well in the background. So like, how does that process work? For like Sugar, he works a lot with Shoria. They vibe off each other in the studio.
Definitely.
Yeah. So like, how does that work for you with like Cha?
I mean, for me, I was always writing raps and stuff like that ever since I was younger, and then it just kind of happened very, very naturally. Ever since I went solo, and then let me give you like a long kind of like explanation or whatever, if you don't mind. I did this YouTube cover of Nothing on You, and then it kind of like blew up, and then all of a sudden, all these companies started hitting me up, all these like shows wanted to book me, and so I was doing YouTube covers at shows, and I didn't want to do YouTube covers at shows. I wanted to do my own songs.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I just felt like people just, not to take anything away from the producers in Korea, but I just felt like their music didn't match my style. So that's why I started just kind of like doing my own music. And then, Cha just happened to be in my B-roll crew doing music. So I was like, yo, send me some beats. I wrote to some stuff. And then ever since then, it's kind of like we've been building and building and building. Our mixes have become like better. Our masters have become better. Our writing has become better. Our lyrics have become better. Our harmonies and just all that. And then also we've been very versatile with it. Like we've been doing stuff like Joa, where it's kind of more, has the old school like feel good vibe. And then we also did a rap album called Worldwide, where it's just more, just hip hop stuff. So yeah, we've just been growing ever since then. I'll give him an idea, and he'll kind of produce it, and then I'll be like, yo, you should do this, and then I'll start writing to it, and then I'll lay it down on the mic, and then he'll maybe put some harmonies on there, and then we just kind of like, it's just like a team, really, like a team, yeah.
Do you actually physically do a beat yourself, or like it's just all cha-cha?
Yeah, so all the Cha-Cha does all the engineering work, like all the just the stuff on the. Like I'm super bad with technology. So I'll tell him something like, yo, do like with like just my body or my mouth, but all the just the technical stuff, that's all Cha-Cha.
That's cool. At least somebody's doing that work for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah. So like you mentioned just now that as a you write a lot of stuff as well on the fly and on the go. How's that process like? When you're writing, actually, do you write for a specific audience? I mean, because you are a big hip hop star yourself, and I know that you love hip hop as well, and that's very two different markets actually. So how do you actually split your mind while you write a song?
I don't know. So the funny thing is like just I do whatever I feel at the time. If I hear like a really good R&B album, it inspires me to make R&B. So I'll the next day me and Cha-Cha work on some R&B. Or if I hear a really good rap album or someone comes out with a really dope verse or something like that, it inspires me to want to rap. So then the next day I'll write a rap and I'll be like, yo, Cha-Cha, let's lay this down, da da da. So it's just kind of like I have like split personalities or something. I don't really like, yo, this day I'm gonna do this and this day I'm gonna do this. It's just kind of like whatever I feel.
So there's no like specific like business strategy. Because sometimes like I know certain writers when they write, they feel that they need to win over this audience.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Is that do you?
I mean,
for that as well.
That's kind of like maybe in the back of my mind, but it's not number one for me when it comes to because if you do that, you kind of I feel like you kind of put like a set like a limit, and then so it's like you're kind of like trying to do music, be creative within that limit, and I don't like to be creative within that limit. I like to just do whatever. So
cool.
Yeah.
So does Cha-Cha produce for like OMG guys, the rest of the guys as well?
Yeah, Cha-Cha, he produced for a lot of people. He's done stuff for like a lot of groups in Thailand, Japan, people in America. Like he's done stuff for like Kara and like P184 and all these cats. So
cool.